Bang! Knives Knives, I'm Jared, and this one's a little disappointing for me. Not the knife, but I filmed probably over, a couple weeks. I had a bunch of film using the hell out of this thing, and I lost the footage. I actually had one of my nephews teaching him how to use a knife and stuff like that, but I was just basically doing a bunch of batoning, chopping down trees, breaking down just all kinds of stuff, like literally probably hours of footage that was going to break down to like 10 minutes in a video, but it's gone. So there's nothing I can do about it, but I feel bad, and I don't want to have to go through all the filming again and make the company wait because I should have had this up already. So it just is what it is, but I will talk about my experience with the knife. Now, this is from Olive Knives, and it has this wicked grind, and they call this the Fibonacci. I could be butchering that, but you see all the details are there. This is in elmax steel, as you can see right there. And what's really cool is it does have a crowned spine right here and then a sharp spine here. So you can easily strike fires with that spine. And the Fibonacci grind here has like this multi-tapering grind that's actually pretty cool. I did talk to the owner of the company, and he said that they're trying to get some knives made specifically in the USA. He's thinking about going with full flat grinds or maybe full convex or something. But some of this is made in South Africa, and then some of it's made in the USA, and then, so it is kind of spread out where it's made, but he's wanting to get the entire thing eventually done just completely in the USA. The handle is G10, it's contoured, and it has a nice thick spine, but it's not so thick that it's, it's not going to do anything. Like, it's not going to cut. It's definitely going to cut, but you can be very tough on this knife. I was very tough on it. I was cutting down all kinds of trees, stripping trees, just doing all kinds of, stuff you'd test a knife doing. My nephew, we were like clearing out an area for him to like build a little fort and stuff like that. But everything went extremely, extremely well for the most part. I mean, this is very, very, very comfortable. I'm not sure if you could use this as a bow drill, but I bet you could. You do have a spot for a lanyard right there. Carrying it on the sheath was really nice. Listen to this. Very, very assertive click, and it has this nice, beautiful rubberized push-off point. Very little rattle and tap. Like, I know you hear it, but it's not bad at all. It felt really good carrying it, and every time I put it back in the sheath, I loved hearing that nice snap. It told me this thing was locked in place. The grind, bit into materials really good. I had zero problems with that. As far as the edge, or actually the spine, hitting the spine worked really good. I had a little batoning stick, and was using it to chop down trees and stuff, and it worked great. These are small trees; they weren't big or anything, but still something you couldn't just smack through. And then I was doing some chopping, where you get the two fingers around there and get a little chopping action. That went extremely well. I tried using the spine to basically feather stick. It did pretty good because it is a sharp spine. I didn't do a lot of feather sticking. I should have. I wish I would have now. I don't know why I wasn't thinking of that. Anyways, the grind though, it is very interesting. I'm not sure how, if it's like super effective. Maybe it is. I know a convex grind is going to be much tougher than like a hollow grind or even a flat grind. So having like it's almost like a multi-convex, I don't know, or multi-flat grind, I don't know what to even call it, but I imagine it does offer some more stability. Probably going to slow it down a little bit in cutting performance, but this isn't a slicer, so big deal. The edge, let's talk about the elmax, because that's where, that's some of the important stuff, right? Like, that is what's going to make or break a knife like this, because elmax, while it's not a hard use steel, not at all, it is more of a high wear resistant steel with incredible corrosion resistance. But when you do a grind with this geometry, any steel is going to be tough. This is going to be tough as nails, just based off of the geometry and the taper. Look at that. It's swedge-like, but also not so swedge-like that you don't feel like you can cut with it. Like, I could cut food with this 100%, no problems. And the edge, tiny, tiny bits of microchipping, which I'm surprised that I didn't get a lot more. I truly am, because I was hitting the ground. You know, there's dirt and little rocks and stuff. I've got a little bit of microchipping up here in the belly. Not really much right here, maybe a couple little spots, but right here, from here to here, I got a bunch of tiny, tiny bits of microchipping, but not bad though. Like I bet I could still cut paper, no problem. And by the way, before I started the test, I did check the factory edge and I had a recording of it, but you know, that's gone. So you can see right there where it's starting to slow down. We're gonna tune this thing back up and I'm gonna show you guys how to tune it back up. So it's still cutting paper for the most part through most of the blade. It does slow down once you get into this section up here in the belly, but to be expected, right? So instead of doing just a strop, I'm actually going to use a stone. I might use that, but first I just want to try using a 3000 grit little stone right here. This is a TS Prof Alpha. These are pretty expensive stones, but you can pretty much use any stone for this. See, I can feel the chips when I hit them right there. I can feel it hitting. So I'm trying to do this very gently, very lightly, no pressure. I'm basically just letting the weight of the knife, maybe a little tiny bit more pressure on top of that, but I'm not trying to micro bevel. I'm actually trying to hone the edge back. And these types of stones are usually my favorite for doing this, just bonded diamond stones or bonded CBN stones, period. There's still a little bit right there. I'm just gonna raise my angle slightly just to encourage myself to hit the apex just a little bit more. Sometimes you wanna do that. You wanna adjust just slightly. Like I said, they're doing very light pressure. So that's, most of it's gone there. Now I know we can make it better. Yeah, most of it's gone. I still hear a couple little spots. Yeah. I mean, it cuts, but it's definitely could be better, right? Could be better. So what I could do is I could go down from this to like, what is it? They're 1500, but I don't think I need to do that. I think what I need to do, and I could even go lower than this. You don't want to go too low, but you can go down to like 1200 grit, just depending on how the edge is. The edge was a damn near a mirror polished edge from the factory, especially after I hit it on the strop a couple times. So let me do that really quick. I'm gonna just try it on the strop and then we're gonna use the ceramic rod if nothing else works. Ceramic rods are typically going to be the most effective. I don't know, it's just the type of stone ceramic is. It has the most amount of reaction to the edge, like the most amount of bite, you know, look, other than, you know, obviously going to a low grit stone. Right there, that actually did really well right there. Yeah. There we go. And that was a diamond emulsion. Now, let's see if we can't even do it just a little bit more. I'm going to use this 20-degree angle, and I'm just going to tiny bit micro bevel. Yes, I'm cutting towards myself. It doesn't matter. It's the same risk as me going away because I'm doing such light pressure. There's no pressure. So the risk is only if I drop the knife. Like I don't have a chance of sliding off and cutting anything. I'm not putting any pressure. I know people freak out every time I do it towards myself, and I'm trying to do it on camera. That's why. I obviously could just go like this, but I want to make sure this angle is perfect. And I know people are going to have an easier job, copying me if you're using the angle on both sides. There we go. Look at that. That's without even hitting it with the strop yet. Much better. Ceramics, like I said, man, they are the most effective when it comes to honing, micro beveling, and stuff like that. My favorite is the resin bonded, but that is, well, that's especially, I should say, that's especially for low angle edges that are like polished. If it's a low angle edge, it's like polished, or even just a low angle edge, period. I seem to have really good results with the bonded stone, even more so than the ceramic. But when you have something thick like this and you need something to cut fast, and as you can see, you can't even see the micro bevel I put on there. Like, it's very subtle. So that actually went extremely well. But all in all, there you go. Look at that. Woo. So this is a cool knife. I do like this. I think this would be a great camping companion or a great hard use knife for anybody who needs a super, super tough knife that also wants to be able to use it for a cutter. Like I could totally skin with this. I could cut down on a surface. I could chop food. You can pretty much do everything. This is a very versatile knife. And because of the thickness, it allows it to also be used for extremely tough uses. I would personally have no problem prying with this. Not at all. And even though it's elmax, and elmax, seeing as that it is elmax, that's really cool because you're going to have incredible edge retention, and wood, like using your edge on wood, is not very abusive to an edge, to steel. Like in many cases, you can you know, whittle sticks and, you know, cut wood and even chop wood a lot before you'll ever get any damages to the edge. Like these micro, can't even think. The microchipping I had in the edge was from heavy hits and probably hitting rocks and, you know, little tiny pebbles and stuff like that. So all in all, very impressed with the Olive knives. So shout out to them. I will do what I can to link everything down in the description. Like I said, the sheath was great. I love this sheath. And then this thing is so comfortable. It's hard not to like it with a knife this comfortable for hard use, because I had like zero shock when I was chopping or anything like that. It just wound up working out really, really well. Box, they had a lot of stickers, you know, and the manual for the knife. And then check this out. They had a little camping recipe thing. I thought this was pretty cool. There actually looks like some pretty damn good little meals in here for on the go. I actually thought about doing a video doing basically like some bushcraft meals, you know, maybe go camping or something with my brother-in-law and, you know, see what we could cook up, bring some, you know, some food out there and, you know, cook it up out there on the go or on the grid, off the grid. But I thought that'd be fun, and I might do that. We'll see. I know it's about to start getting cold here in the Illinois area, but you know, hey, it might be something we might just do. Shout out to Olive Knives. The only negative I'm going to say is, you know, actually, you know, the sharpen, tool, and plunge grind is perfect, or it's good. I'm not going to say perfect, it's good. I prefer them to be bigger, but this is just fine. You're going to get plenty of sharpenings out of that, and the edge angle came really, really nice. The only thing I will say, as far as for me, now this, I don't know if this is going to matter to anybody else, but I could do without the holes all the way through. You know, I know you could use these to tie this to a stick, you know, if you wanted to make a spear. So in that regard, I guess I like it. And you possibly could use this as, you know, a bow, or, you know, for a bow drill. But typically, I'm not a big fan of that. I know it's going to relieve some weight and stuff like that, but yeah, I don't know. I just would probably prefer it to be screwed in so that I could unscrew them, oil it and stuff like that and put it back together. You know, if it did get all wet and stuff, I'd be afraid, you know, maybe moisture would get in there. I'm sure he's using a great epoxy in there. But anyways, the Arbor by Olive Knives. I don't really have any complaints, guys. It's awesome. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.